There are some words that I don't like. Words such as disadvantaged, minority group, social justice, privilege. You're privileged, you're spoiled, that type of thing. Inheritance, that kind of thing. This isn't because I don't recognize what life was and how history has played out. It's because I live in the future where life is different. And the process which takes us to that future, which is the one we're living now, the one I was born into and you were born into, gets better and better every day, and it tells me that what I want is coming. I don't dislike these words because they are about somebody else. I know they're about me and I reject them. I reject the idea that I'm a minority group, even though this is true. I reject the idea that I'm disadvantaged, even though this is relatively, in some ways, true. I reject the idea that I'm privileged or spoiled, even though this is, in some ways, true. And you have to notice that the idea that I'm privileged or spoiled contradicts the idea that I'm underprivileged or disadvantaged or historically disadvantaged from colonialism and enslavement and all such things. Something bad that happened can end in an instant, and in that instant it is gone. It is gone. And there's the building towards a having of a future where there is wealth. I have lived without any single person who looks like me being on the TV. You might like to think I'm a black person, but I am half Bantu and half Nilotic. My features are incredibly unique. I look like my mother when I'm near her, but I also look like my father when I'm near him. I look very, very much like a mixed race something. There are only 3 people like me on this planet. There are only 3 Basotho Kenyans alive. And I assume we are all 3 Basotho Luo, which is a particular type of ethnicity. And our features are unique. No channel in South Africa, in Lesotho, in the US, anywhere has anybody with my specific nose, which is kind of big, my specific lip shape, which is very big, with my teeth, large as they are, they're quite large, they're like my father's, with my forehead being the way it is, and my head has a specific shape. My body and parts of it look like Khoisan people. I assume my maternal clan mixed with those people. There are gold hairs, that is, my body hair is blonde. I am unique. And no one looks like me, to the extent that nobody who looks sort of like me even exists on TV, on any TV channel, ever. So for me to have happiness in this world, I have to be happy with what is nearly there. If there are black people there on TV, then it is a win. If those black people are white passing, then still it is a win. You know, in actuality, I am part of that disadvantaged group. But the reason why I don't take these words and why I remain happy is because each year everything gets better, and I recognize that it was never about victimhood why someone like me wasn't there. It was inception. Those industries of entertainment industry, movie industries, television industries began in the countries where they began, and they became disseminated over time. And time is what equalizes all things and makes things available. So we are always waiting, or I'm always waiting for when it's my turn. And maybe I recognize why people within historically disadvantaged groups feel upset. It can be very hurtful. It can be very, very painful, the long process of not being included within just community and society. You know, you pay subscriptions to social media outlets, you buy products, but the adverts of these products don't show anybody who looks like you. There are creams, face creams, that have no one who looks anywhere near what I look like, because they are from their own countries and their own ethnicities. And logically, I know that. And that's why I don't really create a fuss. If a product is from Japan, they might choose to use a Japanese advertiser. But that's one thing I love about Japan. When they have a product that they sell in another country, they always use that country's ethnic people. I know that. Unfortunately, it is American and European companies who do not follow that same epitaph. They will use people from their normal country, the origin or the H quarters of that particular product, instead of using locals from the product market. So nowadays it's called representation, but for me it is the expansion of economy, global society, companies. It's the stepping up and showing up within that economy that African people are still doing. And it is something that's happening, and it's slow going. I hate those people who think that it should have happened quickly, whether it's white or black people, because I know it is white and black people who have these mentalities. Yes, I know. Why hasn't Africa risen in the same space as China? Well, because all of the contracts from the US went to China, and all of the contracts from the EU went to China. How about that? You know, so it requested that the development of Africa be internal. It requested that the wars that happened, which were wars that happen all the time and have been recorded in many ethnicities, shouldn't have happened. And they not necessarily should, but they did, because that is the norm, or that is common. Is it possible for us as people to not go through those processes? Here we are in 2026 and people are going to war again. So where once we thought we could logically, knowingly stop ourselves and our politicians and our lobbyists and our senators from agreeing to war or funding of it, where we thought we were better than the people of post-colonial Africa, post-colonial China, post-colonial Europe, and post-Civil War America, where we thought we were better. Well, we are being proven wrong. But we have also been given the opportunity to prove our ideology correct. What is it that we could have done in the past, that our ancestors could have done in the past, to stop all those wars? And now we are in that exact same position. What are we going to do to stop all those wars coming and spreading into our countries? So, dear viewer, I live in a future that doesn't exist. And I understand you who lives in the reality that does, where you're disadvantaged. There's not enough money in the African world and all of that. For me, I hold on to the idea that there is money. I am manifesting it into my life. I am holding on to the prayer that I pray to God. And yes, it is taking time, because there are lots of things that have to happen for that thing that I'm waiting for to happen. But as somebody likes to say, my mother likes to say, success is preparation meets opportunity. So for me, I'm keeping myself prepared, emotionally prepared, so that when the opportunity comes, I'm going to grab it. By allowing yourself to be demotivated, when the opportunity comes, you are not going to be able to grab it. You're not going to be prepared. And you need to understand this whole time where Africa is not developed or underdeveloped countries are still coming up. It's a preparation time for you. You need to get prepared for when the money comes. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to blow it on nonsense? Are you going to start a business? What kind of life are you planning for your world, for you? What do you see that's wrong in your culture, in your clan? Those specific things that you want to change, and you have to like write them down. Like I'm writing them down. I have journals, I write on these journals, and I tear them apart, and I'm planning, because I know I don't have these things. But having them is not fighting for them. Having them is because fighting for them means that we are behaving like our ancestors in the 1970s who do destroy things that exist just because they are white owned. And yet these are things that allow us to live an easier life. So whether something is Chinese owned, European owned, white owned, owned by an Indian person or whoever, for me it's wonderful because they make our lives easier, while we as the native Africans or the African society are preparing, are building, because building is building and failing, and it takes so much time. But you need a salary while that's happening. You need to be able to live happily. There needs to be no war. And these other cultures are holding us up. They are the pillars of our safety. They are our friends. They are those people sent by God to give us stability while we cannot give it to ourselves. It's asking for help from a friend who has more to give while you don't have something. So for me, I don't hate other races. I think they're lovely. I love it what they're doing in Africa. I love that they're holding us while we cannot hold ourselves economically and in peace, because our peace is economic, and it is they who have instigated it in our world. If they were to not be here, it would be quite dramatic. It doesn't mean that the chains loosening won't happen, the breaking of our societies won't, that the separating of our societies. It has to be easy. When each of us has enough for our own selves to maintain our own lives, then we separate. Not while the other doesn't. The African society doesn't have anything. We are learning from them. We are developing from these other societies. We are breaking off from them when we have gained enough knowledge, gained enough money, and we can do it on our own. And they're holding our hands while we do that. And my answer to them, even if the question was never asked, is thank you so much. Thank you, because someone like me would have been married off at the age of 12 and raped, and I would have so many kids by now. My grandmother was a person who had children at the age of 13. She had 11 surviving children. I don't know how many actually existed. So thank you, because even now there are girls who are still being sold at 13 in this country. Education is such a difficult thing for girls to have, even boys to have, just to have it at all. Thank you to all of the international organizations that were here: USAID, PEPFAR, Irish Aid, the EU, the UK, Sintibale from Prince Harry. All of these organizations, thank you, and thank you so much.